But my uncle, Ted Kennedy, became the first activist, real, gay rights activist in the United States Senate. In 1980, when he ran for president, he was the first presidential candidate in history to actively court the gay vote. I campaigned with him and then many times without him in the Castro up in San Francisco. And that was at a time when no politician was going there. Teddy was the only one. And then Teddy was chair of the Senate Health Committee for 50 years. And one of his biggest issues was making sure that AIDS research was fully funded. He had a famous battle with Anthony Fauci at that time, who was trying to ban any kind of therapeutic drugs. He was trying to steer all of the business toward AZT, which was his drug with GlaxoSmithKline, which was then called Burroughs Wellcome. And there were many all of the symptomology of AIDS were other diseases for which there were therapeutic drugs. And Dr. Fauci was trying to prevent people who were suffering from AIDS from acquiring those drugs, and that's why there were then buyers clubs. Famously the Dallas Buyers Club. There were Buyers Club in all the big cities with gay populations in San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, etc. And those were people who were going to foreign countries to buy illegal therapeutic drugs to bring them back to the United States, to give them to people who were suffering from AIDS and who did not want to get on the AZT regimen, which was killing people. John Lawrenson, who was one of the most famous researchers and journalists in the AIDS community at that point, estimates that 330,000 gay men were killed by AZT between 1989, I think it was approved, and 2019, particularly in the early days. And a lot of people did not want to get on AZT. They wanted to try these other therapeutic drugs, and Anthony Fauci refused to test them for efficacy, and my uncle ultimately forced him to test them. My uncle hired Terry Byrne, who was the first openly gay chief of staff in the United States Senate for any senator. Terry Byrne was also the first openly HIV-infected staffer in the United States Senate history, and my uncle engendered a lot of controversy by hiring him and then promoting and protecting him. And Terry Byrne worked with Teddy to make sure that HIV research was fully funded, and that alternative drugs and therapeutics other than AZT were available to people who are suffering from HIV and AIDS.